You're watching Round Roanoke, your source for what's happening in the Valley. I'm your host, Margaret-Hunter Wade. Known for bringing world-class music right here to the Roanoke Valley, the Jefferson Center celebrates arts and culture through the production and presentation of compelling programs by exceptional artists. And no exception to this is Cecile McLorin Salvant, renowned jazz artist, recently nominated for a Grammy Award. Here to tell us more about Cecile's upcoming performance and the Jefferson Center is Cyrus Pace. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So I don't even know where to start. Jefferson Center has so many great things, but why don't you just give us a quick, brief overview of who the Jefferson Center is?
Sure. I guess it's a lot of different things to a lot of different people because, you know, we do so many different things, but if very quick description of the business lines, we have programming like the Cecile show that you mentioned, which I'm sure we'll talk about, and then we have an education wing as well through the Music Lab, and then we have the building itself, which houses 21 nonprofit tenants. And then we also do short-term rentals, so someone might get married and use our spaces as a reception spot, or the chamber might have an event there, or thousands of other things. And of course, the Chaffin Performance Hall is also a rental facility as well, so we do community theater type stuff. So the opera does their productions there. We have it seems like every dance company does their productions there. So I guess it just depends on, you know, how you engage. It's also, of course, the former Jefferson High School, so there's close to 5,000 alumni that still think of this as the great high school they went to between 1923 and 1976.
And it's a beautiful space.
It is, yeah.
Intimate venue, I guess, for those performances that you do have in Chaffin that you mentioned. So I think that's what makes it special and allows you all to really kind of capitalize on that. So tell us about Cecile.
Sure.
And what's going to make her show special.
Sure. She's in our Jazz Club series, which is interesting because we're taking artists that are on a trajectory up. I mean, she's performing this month at Jazz at Lincoln Center and with Wynton Marsalis. So she's right on the cusp of being the artist that may be too expensive for us to purchase. So our artistic director, Dylan Locke, does a great job of becoming aware of those artists and getting them on that trajectory. So we set up the rehearsal hall to seem as if sort of like it's the Village Vanguard in New York City. So you come in and there's a 7 o'clock show and a 9 o'clock show. Food's provided by Kroger, and there's a bar, and people just sort of sit as if you're at a jazz club in New York City, which is very, very cool.
It's almost like you've just stumbled upon this great performer. And I think I saw somewhere when I was reading about her that she's going to be one of those ones that people look back and say, I remember seeing her win.
Yeah. And we do so much of that at Jefferson Center for a couple of different reasons. One, again, because Dylan is doing a great job of sourcing those artists and staying aware of what's happening in the scene. But secondly, like much of Roanoke, we depend on artists who do routed dates, right? Artists who might be going from DC to Charlotte or something like that. And so we try to stay on the radar of those folks so that we can get them, again, as they're sort of experiencing their own professional trajectory.
Excellent. So folks that would like to attend, how do they go about getting tickets to this event?
Really easy. The website, jeffcenter.org. We have online ticketing at all times, so you can do it in your pajamas at 3 in the morning. Of course, and you can call the box office 345-2550 as well.
Excellent. So what are people going to walk with? Like, what makes her unique in her style, and kind of what's she known for as far as her jazz style?
Well, most specifically, people are sort of heralding her as the new Billie Holiday, as this new very, very deep personality with a very, very deep voice, but that also sort of hits you as joyful at the same time. So it's American songbook stuff, but it's done in a highly creative and highly, deep way, I guess is the best word to describe it.
And she's young, if I'm not mistaken.
In her 20s, you know.
Yes, that's really amazing.
Yeah, and to think of the people who are now saying that about her, it's not just the people that go see her, but it's people like Wynton Marsalis who are hiring for these really large gigs. So we're lucky to have her here. It's going to be very cool.
Absolutely. So speaking of lucky, I know some of your students that come through the Music Lab sometimes get to rub elbows with these great. Do you expect to see her in there, or who else is headed your way?
We don't. Every artist that we have on the stage, main stage or jazz club, we actually ask to come up to the Music Lab. Almost all of them do it, and the ones who don't agree to do it, they probably wouldn't be very good at it anyway, and they know it, and they're just like, nah, I don't do that. But I mean, we've had so many great people just go upstairs, like Chris Thiele from Nickel Creek and the Punch Brothers, go up and sit with kids and just talk about why his career has worked out, the level of discipline necessary, the amount of work necessary to really make it in the music business. And it's interesting, the things that we tell the students don't resonate with them unless a really cute 27-year-old super skinny mandolin player from Nickel Creek says it, and the kids are like, it must be true, So that model of connecting this community's children to these world-class artists, I think that's really a differentiator for us. It's about spending meaningful time and learning through music education what discipline looks like, what caring about something very deeply looks like, what it looks like to be a craftsman at something, right?
Yep.
Like, it's not enough to just care about it, you also have to do it well.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for what you do and for all the great things that you've got coming and that you do in your building. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we appreciate your coming on.
Thanks.
You can find out more about the Jefferson Center events and other happenings in the Roanoke Valley on the community calendar coming up at the break. I'm Margaret-Hunter Wade, and you're watching Round Roanoke on Cox 9. Thanks for tuning in.